Hello everyone. I'm finally getting around to making the video for our flower centers for wreaths. So today we'll be making the sunflower one. There are quite a few that I had shown you before on my Facebook page that I've created, and these are just a few of the ones that you can create once you get to see what's involved in that. I make them in different sizes, different colors, and different designs. So let's get started. Some of the things you are going to need are a felt tip Sharpie, a black one, a pair of scissors, some Gorilla hot glue sticks, and a glue gun. You are going to need a styrofoam disc. This pack is a 2-pack, happens to be from the Dollar General store, and they are 4.8 in size. I like to use those, but I also like to create my own. And what I have here is a piece of styrofoam from Lowe's Lowe's department store. Yeah, I guess that's what you call it, Lowe's store. It comes in sheets. Like you get a 6-pack of long sheets for, I don't know, $9.99, $10. And it's just over by the insulation. So if you want to create a larger size like I do, that's what you'll need to get. You're also going to need a sanding block. You have a piece of felt, and this is just felt from Joann's Fabric that I buy, in a couple yards at a time when it's on sale. And I literally use one of my weights and place it there, take the black Sharpie, trace around it, take my scissors, cut it out. And also a pipe cleaner. And let's see what else. I have paint. The brand that I happen to have is Americana. This is a black and a Candom yellow. You could make your sunflower center any color you want. So, it doesn't have to be yellow, it doesn't have to be black. It can be pink and black and pink and brown, whatever you like. I also just have a paper plate to put the paint on. I have a paper towel, and I have brushes. This is a stippling brush, and usually you can buy it in a pack at Michael's. You get several different sizes of them. It sort of just has a round head, or you could use just any old flat brush. Have that, and I also have a pair of scissors, and I have a styrofoam cutting tool. It's just a piece of wire that when you plug it in and hold it, it heats up and it melts through the styrofoam. And I'll show you how to do that. And then another tool that you're going to need is a man's shaver or trimmer, mustache trimmer. And this happens to be a Wahl, W-A-H-L, from Walmart. They run $15, $20. You don't need an expensive one. You don't need any of the attachments. You just need a mustache trimmer or a sideburn trimmer. And the last thing you're going to use is indoor-outdoor carpeting, also from Lowe's. Now this came in I think it was a 12-foot piece, or as wide as the carpeting comes on the roll at the store. And then I asked them to cut it a foot wide. It's just easier to manage that size. I mean, you can get whatever you like, but for me, I can get 2 centers out of this foot wide piece. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is actually take my indoor-outdoor carpeting and turn it over to the back side. And I just happen to use my wreathing boards because, number one, I have them, and I like the size. And all I'm going to do is put that on the back of my indoor-outdoor carpet. Now, I do leave a little edge, about an inch or so from the edge, because we need that distance to clip a tab when we glue it. So I'm just going to trace that around with my Sharpie. And normally if I'm doing a smaller one, I can get two. So I think the 4-inch size ones, I can get two side by side. And while I have it laying here, I'm going to take one of my weighted circles that I use to hold my wreath leaves down with, and put that in the center of the circle we just drew. And I'm going to trace around that. What that does, it just gives you a guideline how far to cut in. So we have two circles, and I am just going to simply cut this across to make it easier to cut out the circle. And literally just going to cut outside that black line. I'm not cutting on it, I'm cutting outside the black line, right up against it. This stuff cuts fairly easily. Alright, so we have our indoor-outdoor carpeting from Lowe's. It's sort of a brown with a yellow thread through it. We're on the back side, and I'm going to take a circle and place it inside that center circle, just to make sure it's the right size, and it is. And I believe this is, let's see here, it's probably about a good 6-inch circle. And what I'm going to do is just take my scissors and cut a slit the whole way around, about 1 inch wide, just to that inner line, okay? And what that's going to allow us to do is be able to fold our indoor-outdoor carpeting up around that disc and not have it be bulging and gaping in places. So I'm not measuring, I'm just giving it an about 1 inch all the way around. So I've just literally cut little tabs the whole way around that circle. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Let me show you how I cut, and this happens to be the piece of foam that I get from Lowe's. So it's fairly long. I can get, I don't know, I think I've already cut 10 circles, and I have probably almost a half of the board left. So again, all I did was take my weighted piece, and do you need this? No. You can use anything that's round, just so that it's the size you want and you can trace around it. I literally put it on there and took my magic marker and traced around the outside of it, just to get a pattern. And I'm going to take my styrofoam tool that's heated, so you plug it in. Now it's not hot while it's plugged in, you have to actually push the button in to make the heat come. And I'm just gonna let it heat there a few seconds, okay? And literally just start pushing it through that styrofoam, and you can see it's gonna melt it Now, I would recommend that you wear a mask. There is a little bit of fumes that come off of this, or else cut it outside. So it's literally just slicing through there. And I'm just following that black line the best that I can, you know, to get it as round as possible. Do I do it all in one swoop? Nope. So I'll stop, turn the piece of foam, turn my cutter, and go the opposite direction, or continue on the path that I was on. Either or. I just make sure that it's through the whole thickness of the foam. At least I try, so that I don't have to go back and go over it a second time. You should be able to pretty much just cut through the whole thing on the first try. We're coming to the end. And literally pop it out. Get rid of that. So it's pretty quick. Now, you're going to take that sanding block. Let's see what I did with it. There it is. And I'm not going to do this here. I usually will do it either outside or over the garbage can. And you're just going to lightly sand all the way around to get that round, as round as you can get it. And you're going to smooth off this outer edge and the inner edge. Okay? And when you're done, it should look like this. It's not perfectly smooth, but it's close. Okay? Alright, so we have our circle cut out of our indoor-outdoor. We're on the back side. And we have our foam disc cut out or purchased, one of the two. And what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of that hot Gorilla Glue and put it down inside that center circle. And just hold it there briefly to allow it to set. I really like making these because it gives me control of what I want for my center. If I want a large center, if I want a small center, if I want a flag center, any color I want, any pattern I want. So I really like making them, and I think they're unique. That's the thing. Everybody's looking for something different, not the same old stuff. At least I am. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take my glue gun and on that center line put a little bit of a line of glue across 3, maybe 4 of those pieces that we cut, so that we get some glue down here on the base. And then I'll add some glue to the tab, not all the way to the end, but pretty much. And then I literally just start folding those up and over. Generally, you have enough on that tab that it will let you fold over onto the top or the back side of that disc. And then I just hold it there, give it a few seconds to let it set, let it dry. And sometimes, you know, you have to go around and add another dab here or there. For the most part, once we put on that felt back on the back of this, it's going to help hold all that in. You could probably use flower pins. I tried it, but they're really hard to get through this stuff, so I think it'll be pretty secure just when we get the back on it. So I'm going to go around and do about 3 or 4 tabs, the same thing. I'm adding that line of glue down at the base and then coming up on each of those tabs and adding a little bit of glue, and then going around and pulling it in, up and over on that piece of styrofoam. And then I'll usually hold it there a few seconds just to let it set. Now, like I said, I think I paid $10 for 6 sheets of the styrofoam from Lowe's. I paid $10 for 12 feet by 1 foot indoor outdoor carpeting. So you can really, really, really get a lot of flower centers if you make your own. And the nice thing is, I'm going to show you how you can freehand draw your design and then just sculpt it into the carpeting. I'm just pulling and holding till it sets up a little. Pulling it up and over. And you really do need to cut the tabs because it just makes it more flush to the circle. It's not bulking and sticking out. And the one other thing that I forgot to show you, you'll need is a can of UV spray. You know, it can be matte, it can be satin, it can be gloss. It really doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter which one you use. You just want that clear spray that when we're all done, we're going to give it a coat to help maintain that paint once we're done. And you can buy that at Walmart or any local hardware store. Lowe's, Home Depot, they all carry it. Just get the one that has the UV protectant. So I'm still just going around putting a line of glue on that inner circle and then up the tabs, pulling them in, up and over our piece of styrofoam. And I may have to go back and add a dab here or there. That's okay.